Bonjour people and welcome to another Transformers review. This time we are taking a look at Transformers Armada Powerlinx Cyclonus. Now, the interesting thing about this guy is that he never actually appeared like this in the anime. Several other characters got repaints. Megatron became Galvatron, Demolisher became a red version of himself, Starscream took on the appearance of Thundercracker, Red Alert got a redeco, Hotshot got a redeco, Cyclonus drew the short straw and got nothing. But that didn't stop Hasbro from creating this guy. This is one of about 3 variants of the main blue figure. You had that original, you had this one, you had a white and black Energon redeco, which is quite nice, I've got to say. I would really like to have that one. And also, you had a yellowish green version with a new cockpit called Buzzsaw for the Transformers Cybertron toy line, and they replaced some of the Minicon ports with Cyberkey ports, or whatever you call them. Again, that's another one I'd actually quite like to have. It's fairly interesting of a design. But when it comes to this guy, he still turns into a helicopter. They didn't exactly change anything up about it. But instead of the blue, he is now green throughout most of the body. Grey is the secondary colour, and you've kind of got a maroonish along the rotor blades and along the underside here and there. Yeah, he's an odd one, because as helicopters go, it's bizarre. It looks more realistic with Crumple Zone plugged in. This is his Minicon. This is a little feature that this particular figure could do with his Minicon. I don't think any other Armada figures had such an inventive way of incorporating their partner into an assorted mode. I mean, with Demolisher, as you'd have seen in one of my previous videos, the Transform Demolisher Von, check that out if you haven't already, you'd have seen how Blackout does kind of attach to his vehicle mode. Hotshot had a similar thing. You could put Jolt on the back spoiler. But Cyclonus pulls it off the best, I think. Now, the main gimmick with this figure, you can see the trigger here along the back. And pulling that makes the rotor blades go. And it also does make Crumple Zone's cannon shake from side to side. Probably doesn't come across very well, but you may be able to get that up. Very nice Ratchet gear system running all throughout the main body. Yeah, very good. So, taking Crumple Zone off, close that. This is how Cyclonus actually looks. It's a little bit more stunted and squished, but charming in its own way. Let's put him to a side for a minute and have a look at Crumple Zone. That's his cockpit mode. If we just flip the treads the other way, turn him over, and rotate the barrel around, here he is in tank mode, his main vehicle mode. Cute little thing, I suppose. Yeah, there's not much to say. Primarily black, the green now goes to the underside. Transforming him, I mean, he's a Minicon. He's going to be dead easy. Let's just move them out of the way. Let's just bring those bits down, do a 180 with them. You can turn that down, I suppose, and there you have Crumple Zone in his tiddly little robot mode. In terms of sculpting, I mean, this camera might not be able to pick it up, especially with this lighting. He has the Minicon symbol there on his chest. You may be able to just get a glimpse of that. Minicon port, obviously. His head, not particularly detailed very much. The most detailing he's got is probably along the treads here. Yeah, that's Crumple Zone. Let's just quickly put him back into a tank. And put him off to the side. So going back to Cyclonus, we basically had a look at the entirety of a vehicle mode. I'll show off the ports in a bit, but let's get to transforming him, I suppose. The first thing that we want to do is take these bits and just fold them all the way back. They're clearly going to become the legs. Take these guns, fold them back, they become the heels. Rotate him at the waist. And then it's kind of personal preference how you leave the the crotch area. A lot of people like to leave this bit flat and have the legs going like that, but I like to actually bring them back a little bit more. You can click the knees into place like that and just bring it to rest there for the time being. And then we're going to come up to here and we're actually going to split that. It splits around about here. And then you're just going to bring it all down until it snaps into place. And again, regarding the crotch, the flat bit is now on the underside of this, and the smaller pointy end is there. I'm going to just straighten his arms, go one click, and another click, and that kind of gets it into a natural-ish position. And then flick up its head, and that's Cyclonus in robot mode. And he's charming in his own way for the time. Compared to modern figures, he's yeah, he is what he is. But in all honesty, I went for years wanting this guy. It's just shockingly, this year I've had him for 10 years. And I remember the days when I desperately wanted him, because Cyclonus, I think he might have been the last of the Armada main Decepticons I got of my own accord. I don't know if the Galvatron I've got, I might have gotten him after, but he was a hand-me-down. But yeah, I've had this guy for 10 years. I can't quite believe that. I got him the same time I got Prime First Edition RC. Same year I got Dark of the Moon Shockwave, Dark of the Moon Jolt, Dark of the Moon Topspin. It was 2011. Dark of the Moon was a thing. But yeah, I wanted this guy, nostalgic. I had that big sheet. In the UK, there was an Armada comic, and the second issue of which had a big spreadsheet full of Transformers figures. And yeah, this guy was on the list. His blue version was on the list. This guy always captivated me more. The blue one just looks a bit dull in comparison, I think. But he's a giant block, really. I don't know if you'll be able to get a good look. Oh, well, we're focusing fairly well. Lighting's not the best today, but you can see his head. It's a nice bright orange. He has green eyes. Nice moulding in there. And yeah. So we'll show off some more gimmicks. Let's get Bullzone back. Minicon ports on his arms. They will obviously fire the missiles. So if we plug him in, let's see how powerful they are. A little bit weak. A little bit weak. And then there's some more on the legs. Plugging them in. There we go. Flick these shin guns out. I suppose they're meant to sort of emulate these ones, but he has in vehicle mode. He's no Boba Fett. Boba Fett has better knee rockets than Cyclonus does, I have to say. But again, it's an Armada gimmick. What are you going to do? Taking a look at articulation, he doesn't really have anything at the head. He can look up and down, but again, that's a pin joint for a transformation. You can move his shoulders up that far. He has a joint there at the arm which allows him to move it up that far, move it back that far, and then he does have an elbow joint, so you can fully straighten his arm, or he's got an over 90-degree bend. Again, really, that's for the transformation. Nothing at the waist, not properly. You can do that to make him taller, I suppose, but that makes him look weird. So have that flat. Kick that farther leg. He can't really bring his leg back any further because of this, but if we were to... Can I even? No point. I was just going to see if I could move that back and the effect would free it up anymore, but nope. So we can't really move his leg back. He has a very impressive knee bend, double joint. Well, it's not even a double joint, it's still just a pin. And really, yeah, that's it. Again, Armada, they didn't articulate particularly well. They relied a lot on gimmickry here and there, and especially regarding the minicons. So, yeah, Cyclonus, for the time, not too bad. Obviously, compared to modern figures, he doesn't hold a candle. But, you know, he's charming. And I wanted him because Armada was the toy line in my early youth. And he was on the list of the ones I wanted. A quick size comparison, as I've actually got these guys handy. Here he is next to Demolisher. I thought getting one of my repaints out would be a good comparison to make. So that's him against another deluxe class size. Here he is next to fellow Powerlinx guy. This technically Starscream, but technically Thundercracker. And you can see that Thundercracker absolutely dwarfs him. And you think that's bad? Here he is next to Galvatron, who is technically a leader. You know, if you were to count that as the top of the figure, which it is, that's leader class size. Yeah. So there we are then. There's Armada Cyclonus. It is what it is. If you like Armada, pick him up, I suppose. Again, in terms of the repaints, like, I think all of the repaints actually outdo the original blue version, and for me it's a toss-up between this one and the Energon variant actually as to which one is my personal favourite. But yeah, hey, I'd actually quite like to have most versions of him. I've got a soft spot for the Armada figures, and especially Cyclonus. So there we are, Powerlinx Cyclonus. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And who knows who I will be reviewing next. Until the next time, see you all later.